Let's see what happens when I hit that. Add. Okay, so it says, please, there you are. There you are. Not on a private network. There is audio. I'm going to handbrake, feeding back on an open network. And Jeff, I don't hear you at all. All I hear is my garble. Hello. CQ20. Now I've got your audio.
How about now?
Loud and clear.
That's terrible.
You're 5x5. I hear a little bit of a. But I can get used to it.
Yeah, a lot of squelch. Yeah, a lot of squelch. But anyway, thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
I've been on the protocol. Huh. Okay. I've been on the 5.
At the same time.
I've been on the 525 about 5 months.
5 months on 525. 525 came out in February.
Right. Yeah. I started on with the boxes and 100 pills, and
Yep.
the 525 made life easy.
Yep. Tell me, before you go on, tell me what your diagnosis was and what kind of care plan, if any doctor had you on, or if you even had a diagnosis.
My diagnosis was
Turn the volume down.
I was diagnosed with idiopathic neuropathy.
Which means we have no idea.
Correct. And my neurologist, she put me on Lyrica.
Yeah, of course.
60 milligrams a day. And
how many years ago?
I've been on it since 2010.
Okay. And so you were on 50 milligrams a day.
Yep, 60. And then 60. And then 3,600 milligrams of gabapentin a day.
On top of the Lyrica.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And when that didn't do anything, did you continue to stay on it? Are you off of all of it now?
She added that Mentex that you talked about.
Metanx.
Okay. So she added that about a year ago.
Are you doing that now?
No, I'm off of that completely.
Good, because that equals B6 toxicity.
All right.
And that creates neuropathy symptoms.
Okay. So I'm completely off of that, and I'm completely off of that. Completely off the Lyrica.
Are you off the gabapentin?
No, I'm trying to wean off the gabapentin. I take right now. I'm currently on 900 in the morning. 900 in the morning.
Yeah.
900 in the afternoon.
Yep.
And 600 at night.
Okay.
But I'm still working on getting it down and getting it out.
Okay. Work hard.
Okay. Well, anyway, like I said, I started with the old pills.
Yep.
And I moved to the new pills in February.
Yep.
And it was gangbusters. I mean, I was walking 4 miles a day.
Yep.
All right. I've been riding I'm an active guy. I golf 4 days a week.
Okay.
I go on the elliptical glider. I do an elliptical glider for an hour a day.
Okay.
And I ride my bike 10 miles a day.
Okay.
But anyway, was going gangbusters until 2 weeks ago. And all of a sudden, it seems like the symptoms are coming back. And that's why I reached out to you privately, and I appreciate you helping me. Because I got defeated, you know?
It's awakening is what it is. You've been on the protocol long enough where there has been sufficient nerve remodeling, and in the process of the nerve remodeling, things are firing like a shorted wire. And when that firing happens, forget about what it does to our emotional state. It basically sends all of those neurons into a tizzy because they haven't been working properly for so long that they've been dormant, and now they're waking up and they're going, whoa, what was that? Basically it. And the things that you do to try and get through that do not involve biking 10 miles. I got no problem with playing golf 4 days a week, being that I'm not a golfer, and knowing that it could involve a golf cart, which means that it's only your swing and your precision, and you're approaching a green that is taxing, and you only could do that shit 18 times. So how bad could golfing be?
Right.
And that's great diversion therapy. In Florida, for me, if I was a golfer, I would say that it sucks because it's 91 degrees outside. And unless that golf cart's freaking air conditioned, I don't want any part of it. The other thing, too, is a buddy of mine is an avid golfer. And one of the primary things in his golf game is beer. If you are double fisting adult beverages, that ain't a good thing.
Nah, I'm off. I've been off of the alcohol for a couple of years.
Okay. Because that will dehydrate your ass really quick. And since all of this is about reactivating better health on a cellular level, the last thing that you want is dehydration. Alcohol-induced neuropathy is a thing. And it's harder to come back from that than other neuropathies.
Right. I cheated a year ago. Oh.
With alcohol. When you say I cheated a year ago.
Well, I cheated a year ago. I had a couple beers and I paid for it, and that was it.
Okay.
Never again.
Okay.
Never again.
I'm about to laugh here, and of course my best buddy, the comedian, hanging out in the background is probably laughing at me. When a guy cheats, it's not usually involving a beer.
No, that's true too.
And we got a wide audience here, and so anything could be anything if you know.
No, alcohol is the only thing I ever did that on. I got 30 years on the books for the married.
As we say in the Jewish business, Mazel Tov. I'm on my third and my last till death do I part. So you're in a situation where, like others before you, many others before you, when you ramped up, you did not begin to and successfully escape from the seizure medication. you were not feeling great because of the gabapentin and Lyrica. You were feeling great because of the interaction with natural elements in your body, and you were getting healthier and coming back to life, all while your brain was on a detente mode. When you mess with the production of parts of the brain which inhibit sensory activity, anything goes. And the job of gabapentin and Lyrica is to reduce the amount and the frequency of the replacement of brain synapses. As they die off, the brain naturally recreates more. And those are the conduit for the signals to the various different parts of the body and muscle. And they involve memory, they involve anything and everything. And the reason for those drugs was to try and train your body not to have seizures. Well, unless you are a person who suffers from seizure disorders, you shouldn't be taking that shit. Is what it boils down to. You need every brain cell you got. You need every messaging device that your body can spit out to every part of your body. And if you start screwing with that anatomical plan, something very bad is going to happen. And it won't be reversible. And it can come in 32 different flavors. There's no telling. The beauty of the protocol is when you start to feel great, you realize that you don't really need the other stuff, because that's not the stuff that made you feel great. That's the stuff that just made you not give a shit about feeling like shit. Use logic, apply logic. What makes sense? What makes sense is if I feel better, I must be doing better. So what ends up happening is the gabapentin is a habit, it's a crutch, and it's a reliance. It's the reason why, for example, that when I finally got off of the pain meds, I kept my entire supply. I didn't throw it away. And as long as I was still feeling better, in fear of beginning to feel like crap again, I kept refilling those prescriptions. So when I couldn't sleep, and then finally I was able to sleep, the doctor had given me a script for Zolpidem, which was the one that makes you sleepwalk and eat and drive instead of sleep. And he gave me Valium in 10 milligram tabs. And he wrote me a script for 45 Valiums. And I think I refilled that thing 6 times.
Wow.
And he wrote that for every month because I couldn't sleep. Well, if I took 10 of those Valiums in 90 days before the protocol really kicked in, it was a lot. I didn't stop filling the script. I amassed a friggin' pharmacy. I've got 15 milligram oxycodones. I've got 10 milligram oxycodones. I've got 30 milligram oxycodones. I've got 7.5 milligram oxycodones, and those have 325 Tylenols attached. All the other stuff, straight oxycodone. And each bottle still has a bunch in it. And so collectively, every once in a while, I keep them in a cardboard box on the floor next to the 9mm. Just because I have a choice of either throwing painkillers or throwing pain when he comes in the door. I look at them and I go, Those were the days. And I hung on to them. And this has been now 4 years that I'm hanging on to these old pills, which I understand are actually good for 10 years. But they were just there just in case all of this was a dream, went away, and I started feeling like shit again. And the difference between, well, there's no difference. You got to do the same tapering off. It's equally as poisonous if you just, if you're taking 75 milligrams of Oxy a day and you go to 0, you're going to feel pretty crappy pretty quick. And I learned that the hard way. In the case of gabapentin, you can drop dead from a coronary infarction. And there are doctors who are stupid enough, who are prescribing this, that never read that part. And they'll tell people who want it to stop taking it. No. The end of the day is, the story is this. It's not doing anything good for you. There's no reason to hang on to it. It's nothing you'd ever want to go back to because it didn't do anything to begin with. And you've already realized the value of being a healthier you. And that part only gets better. So pull the plug on that crap and get the rest of your life back. Keep up with the golf. Obviously, you probably don't want to do the other stuff because you feel like crap right now. But when you do go back, taper that off too. Knock it off by 75% and add 10% once a week. Don't do a daily push. You have to remember that exercise isn't just about moving muscle fibers. It's also tearing it. And you don't need to add any more insult and injury on top of yourself during a healing process. We've had members who, argue that fact, and next thing you know, they just disappear because they want to believe what they want to believe.
Right.
And it's very possible that they did feel crappier and said, well, I'm sure as shit not telling him I felt crappier because I did what he said to do. So they just, go away in the sense they may still be around in the group, but they stop interacting. They stop complaining. And that's the other thing. When you complain to a physician, his job is to get you to stop complaining.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily practicing the right medicine to get you to stop complaining. I can't wait for the day when these guys can actually write a prescription for something like the protocol or the protocol and make their money on it. They won't hesitate writing that on the pad.
You're right about that.
They'll stop having those nightmares about their anatomy and physiology professor flunking them in every goddamn dream they wake up on because they're ignoring basic biology. They write the script. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do to help you other than to try to make you feel more comfortable. Here, let me poison you instead because I'm going to make money on it. And yes, they do make money on it. And yes, they will make money on it.
Okay.
That's my suggestion. And it's like, this has got to be your friend. You got to get 80 to 100 ounces of that in you a day.
I'm good about that. No, I'm good about that every day.
Good. Yeah, do that stuff and bang on my door again and let me know where you're at in the thing with gabapentin. And you got this beat. You one of the things about gabapentin that I don't see in you is the confusion that it causes.
Oh, it's there.
You hide it well. I know that as fluid as I can be in how I come off, I've got enormous gaps in my thinking process. They are there. Because I'm a former broadcaster, I can deal with them. And I
Right.
can keep the mouth moving and the sounds coming out and make complete sentences and complete thoughts, even if I've completely drawn a blank on the topic. I can do it.
You can fake it well. It's good.
Right. But, 30-something years of doing that.
Right.
And so the benefit is you can handle the detox part of this. You can put your mind
Okay.
to it, and
Okay.
you don't have to be a slave to it. And you can save a
Awesome.
shitload of money once you stop interacting with doctors and paying for scripts.
No,
Even
you're
though
right about.
gabapentin is really cheap.
I hired a concierge doctor, and he started to wean me off the gabapentin. And like I said, it's the 525 has been a godsend. It has been a godsend. I'm not quitting. I just got, I just got scared, because I was moving along, Bob. I was buzzing. I was down 15 pounds, walking like I hadn't walked in 10 years. And all of a sudden, I got slapped in the face, and it was like, oh.
I forgot to read about that shit. That is like, it's RALA, it's organic hemp seed oil, it's biotin, and all the other supporting members. And gabapentin's not in there.
Right.
And if you stick with everything and you treat it like a religion and you're obsessed with it, and
That's what I'm doing.
beyond that, that's your obsession. You're not going to need the crutch. What happened with so you were in the process of weaning when awakening started to happen the last couple of weeks and you freaked?
Correct.
By any chance, you've shared this 525 experience with the doctor?
Yep.
And there was no dawning in his mind of a nerve awakening?
Nah. And in fact, I gave him, before I started the 525, before I even started the protocol,
Yeah.
I downloaded all the instructions, all the ingredients. He approved it. I was amazed that he approved it, but he did. He said, quote, "There's nothing in here that can hurt you."
Right.
And what I did is I took it to my neurologist, and she actually backed it also. So, because I don't trust either one of them,
Well, keep in mind that both of those guys have nothing in their toolbox that can help you. So,
Correct.
So if it's vitamins and minerals that are already in your body, how bad could it be to give you more? And if it actually makes you feel better, that's a plus. They feel like them saying yes made your day, and it's because they said yes, otherwise you would never have considered it. They can, and evidence by not knowing the basics of peripheral neurology and the potential of a healing process, because they're not educated on that, either from their experience or from the pharmaceutical company. They're not going to know about nerve awakening unless they've read up on it. But
Well, I actually hijacked the neurologist's secretary, a receptionist. Her husband has it. I turned them on to the 525, and they joined. So,
at the end of the day, if you guys get more knowledge, then that's more helpful for their patients. My primary had one of his patients on it, and she's doing phenomenally well. And every time, and I keep reminding myself, and I'm going to have to do it this next time, every time I ship to somebody who's like in my neighborhood, I'm pretty sure that we have the same doctor, and I'm gonna have to write down her name and bother her privately. I got to find out because
Okay.
it makes sense. I want to know the stories behind
Right.
people's circumstances. How it only helps to be able to give more information to more people
Right,
about
and I
it.
appreciate it. Like I said, I really appreciate it because I had been to I've bought all the shoes. I got a closet full of shoes. I've got all the pills, like you said. I got the Loxatin sitting in my cabinets. I got that, but I'm a drugstore.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, I feel like, yeah, but you're right. Just because of a white jacket and a prescription pad, that doesn't make you an expert.
that's
So
it.
I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you
I
took
can't
the
thank you
time.
enough. Okay.
I'm glad you took the time. Don't hesitate to post things in the group.
Okay.
Your experiences are going to help others. And
No, and I will do that. I'm not a good computer guy, but I got my two sons home right now, so they can help me. But like I said,
it's basic. It's really basic. Once you get in and you see the navigation, it's very simple to deal with.
well, I'm learning, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Jump
Okay.
in here in a couple of weeks. I want to hear again what's going on.
Thanks, Bob. You be
And
good. Thank you again for everything. You've done a heck of a job.
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Rosie, we got to get you on here. Let's see. Let's see what I see. Who do I see? I see Rosie. I'm hitting a button. Oh, there you are. I'm hitting a button. Says bring her on. And it says adding. You're finally going to be here. And this was your night.